Sean Strickland is a wrecking ball of fury inside the cage, where he lets his fists do the talking. But outside the cage, he's unapologetically brash and unfiltered, a couple of traits that have turned him into a fan favorite and an icon. Recently, he's even hinted at a possible leap from the fighting world into the realm of politics. After a defeat at UFC 297, he joked about sitting on a big pile of money and running for a public office position, although he admitted he probably wouldn't win. I mean, can you imagine? From throwing punches to potentially throwing his hat in the political ring, that's quite the switch up. Sean Strickland's rise to the top of the UFC middleweight division is one for the history books. At first glance, Strickland can be mistaken for a really bad person who doesn't respect anyone. But upon a deeper dive into his story, we find out why he says and does things a certain way, and why fans absolutely love him for always saying and doing things out of the ordinary. And here's where it gets real. On Theo Von's podcast, Strickland showed a side of him that we don't often see. He opened up about some heavy stuff from his past, like the trauma and abuse he endured as a kid. It was a moment where he dropped the tough guy facade and got real about his life. Born and raised in a broken home in California, Sean Strickland had a nightmarish childhood, marked by an abusive father who physically assaulted him and his mother every day of the week.
No, it was like a lot of like psychological shit. Like my dad was like fucking like nuts.
Growing up in an abusive and unhealthy environment is detrimental to the mental health of a child. And Strickland continues to deal with issues that he neither wants to talk about nor cater to, because he doesn't want to show his vulnerabilities to people. Yet, there are moments when he can't help but embrace the pain and heartache and show the world that even the toughest fighters on the planet have hearts filled with kindness and a need for love. With Strickland winning the UFC middleweight belt and losing it to Dricus at UFC 297, his personality as well as fighting talents have reached audiences far and wide. His terrible past experiences are no more a secret, but Strickland wouldn't be the hero he is today if it wasn't for his traumatic experiences. At one point in his life, Strickland had started mingling with the wrong crowd. He had joined a neo-Nazi group and beat up a high school mate over an ideological dispute, for which he was thrown out of school. Later, he was gripped with fantasies of homicide and violence.
I was so angry. It's funny, I actually went through like this weird like neo-Nazi white supremacist phase when I was younger. I got kicked out of school for like hate crime and like all this crazy shit.
Strickland was walking down a dark and lonely path as a teenager because of the abuse he had suffered in his childhood. But thanks to his mother, whose timely intervention saved the UFC middleweight champion from his demons. At 15 years old, Strickland entered a mixed martial arts training facility, in the shape of which he got an outlet to release his anger and frustration in a sanctioned manner.
I remember like crying, like after I got done sparring, like I even know when I think about it, it makes my eyes water. Just like I don't think I ever really experienced happiness until that day.
Today, Strickland doesn't go a day without locking horns with someone. From an abused and neglected child to being adored by MMA fans for his honesty and authenticity, Strickland has come leaps and bounds. He's no more a misunderstood character. Quite the contrary, people have started to get acquainted with the real Sean Strickland, a free-spirited soul who wants the best for his people in his own way, but he does have his filters. Strickland doesn't trust a whole lot of people, and that's understandable given his past experiences. He lives in a barren apartment with empty walls. He owns neither a bed frame nor a fully functional toilet, but he has a ton of weapons in case he runs into an errant crackhead. He lives like a Secret Service agent who's doing his best to hide his true identity from potential threats, but that simply adds an extra layer to his intriguing persona. The former UFC middleweight champion is not a maniac as many mistake him to be. He is a decent guy who understands his limits, but he also understands how dark and destructive this world and its inhabitants can be, and he's simply trying to protect himself from the evils that have spread across Mother Earth. At the same time, Strickland is trying his best to pull himself out of the quagmire of childhood trauma, despite the fact that his opponents try their best to use his insecurities against him. Most recently, Sean O'Malley and Dricus scratched open a few past wounds.
Bro, why are you so angry? Bro, you think your dad beat the shit up you? Your dad doesn't have shit on me. I'm gonna show you what it's like to beat you. I mean, every childhood memory you have is gonna come back when I'm in there with you. Every single one. The one where you lie in bed at night where your dad comes in and he beats the shit out of you.
I will take your fucking soul. You understand, you fucking pussy? Yeah, you fucking laugh, you fucking faggot.
Yeah, I got a nerve. I see I hit a nerve there.
Yeah, you fucking did hit a nerve, you fucking bitch. Go ice your fucking ankle, you fucking coward.
Oh, man, that's it.
All right, guys, I'm going to square these guys off and for
And after I fuck you up,
thanks
Dreykus,
for coming, we appreciate
beat me after, you fucking bitch.
The moment Dreykus finished talking, Strickland's facial expressions changed. He went down memory lane, and one could tell with the way he reacted that he was absolutely devastated. In any case, he was badly rattled by Dreykus's sinister choice of words. But once he reorganized his broken pieces, he used Twitter to take his frustration out on his opponent. And I quote, "I just want to say one thing that I feel needs to be said. There are a lot of kids out there who have been abused and molested, and it's a damn tragic thing that forever changes you. How you function, how you view the world, how you treat relationships, how you handle addiction. And for someone to put you down with that level of trauma on a world stage is an utter disgrace. I have a big following of people who suffered trauma, molestation, and I will tell you that it's not funny to me. It was a nasty low blow from Dreykus, but Strickland hugged his foe after their fight at UFC 297 and paid him his respect for giving him a neck-and-neck war. How many times have we seen fighters become rivals forever when things get personal? Take Conor McGregor, for example. His trash talking worked against Jose Aldo, but not against Khabib Nurmagomedov because the two fighters were poles apart as far as mental toughness is concerned. Doesn't that set Strickland apart from his peers? He doesn't hold grudges, he moves on, and he understands the fight game, and he is mentally one of the toughest dudes out there. He has battled demons tougher than fighters he has faced in the cage, and he's beaten both. His rise in the UFC welterweight division, a motorcycle accident that almost ended his career, his eventual return and victories against rising contenders at middleweight, and his title victory against Israel Adesanya, all of these moments explain how well he's dealt with life on his own. He is probably the loneliest fighter out there, and maybe that is his competitive edge. He doesn't have a family to tend to, which means his entire focus is on fighting. That is all he's ever known, and that's what he wants to do until he can't anymore. He's not a bad person. He's simply someone who doesn't know how to live a normal life, and that's why his moniker Tarzan suits him best. He's also been vocal about freedom of speech issues, like he slammed Australia for arresting a woman over a Facebook post about a lockdown protest. He's not just throwing punches, he's throwing opinions too, and they're just as strong. He knows he lives in a jungle full of wild animals, and he can't befriend them all, so he has to protect himself at all times inside the cage, and especially outside of it. Love him or hate him, Sean Strickland is an absolute G, a fighter aspiring fighters should look up to. He's a great role model for those who want to overcome a bad past and win at life. He is truly the people's champion. Where do you rank Sean Strickland among the top middleweights in the world? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.